For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God.
I became the first fighter sponsored by Nike, sponsored by Gatorade, EA Sports, Reebok. My life was amazing.
John Jones is the youngest champion in UFC history!
Even when he was a baby, even when he cried, he would look you in the eye. He had a commanding presence.
I felt like God didn't want me to lose.
He is the future, and he might be the greatest talent that we've ever seen in the UFC.
I gotta give thanks to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
John, I'm this, and I believe in this and that.
Well,
your fabric is fake.
I do believe. What are you talking about? Me being a Christian?
No. We all know, beneath the surface, you're not that guy.
We're all sinners. We're born into sin.
John Jones est un padarok subi advoga.
But when you're favored by God,
you're also favored by the devil. He's coming for you too.
I think I am a bad guy that's trying to be good.
Metro Police, Florida 18405, how may I help you?
We've got a possible DV call, domestic violence call. Female is bleeding from the nose and mouth, and he's actually a professional MMA fighter.
This is so humiliating. I got the Hall of Fame tonight, and then you're gonna put me on this.
Just a few hours prior to that phone call, John's fight with Alexander Gustafsson in 2013 is inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame.
I learned a lot about myself in that 25 minutes. I think adversity is very important for all of us, and I just appreciate Alex for making me a better man for the rest of my life.
I hate you. I hate you.
She's not admitting to any domestic violence, any physical violence. But I mean, she's bleeding from the nose and mouth. She's down with us while the male is up at the room.
You said he's a professional MMA fighter?
Yeah, John Jones.
Earlier in his life, John tried to find salvation following the footsteps of his father.
I wanted him to preach. I tried to discourage him from being a fighter. I told him you don't want to do that. You can do other things. Be a pastor.
My dad's a great guy. He's a pastor. Him being a spiritual leader, he really taught us the importance of faith. I felt growing up, he was always a little harder on me. We looked a lot alike, and we had the same personality, so we would butt heads a lot. He was a guy who was so passionate about us succeeding in sports.
John was one of 3 boys in the Jones family. There was Arthur, John, and Chandler.
I have 2 brothers in the NFL. I have my little brother, Chandler Jones, plays for the Cardinals. My older brother, Arthur Jones, plays for the Indianapolis Colts. I'm the middle as far as age, but when it comes to size, I'm the smallest by far of my brothers.
It's 3 guys that are very competitive, all 3 of us.
It's just always been a great competition growing up.
To the point where he made wrestling this competition for us, where he would give us $6 if we got a pin, $2 if we won, in the finals.
But John wasn't always a standout to begin his athletic career.
Chandler and Arthur was always exceptional. They were always the captains of the football team. I was always 3rd string. My freshman year wrestling, my record was 5-35.
I got my butt kicked when I was a lot younger. A kid named Leonard, he came over, double leg dived me. My head hit the concrete so hard that my eyes started watering. This guy ground and pounded me.
And I guess I just became really comfortable and familiar with combat and whatnot.
While John and his brothers were busy competing in sports with one another, their older sister Carmen was fighting a much bigger battle.
I had a sister who passed away. She was 18 years old. She had brain cancer. Within 2 years' time, her life was over.
I can't understand. I can't understand for the life of me why God would send me to Binghamton and within a year or 2, he would take my only daughter.
And then, to have her just everything taken away from her, her beauty, her hair, to have it all fall out. It was hard to see, and it was hard to witness and kind of grasp and understand why.
And God said, why not? She not exempt, hello?
Considering that she was a light and she was my only sister, it was tough for me.
Then I looked at the word and it says, God so loved the world that he gave his only son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life.
Despite all the questions that I've had, I've never given up on God, and I've never given up on my faith. We have these 3 pro athletes, and we're all happy with our lives. And then we have a sister who's in heaven watching it front row.
John wins a state championship in high school and chooses to wrestle in college.
You won everything in college.
Yeah. I won a state championship in high school and a national championship my freshman year in Iowa. So yeah, I kind of felt like I was going to school to pursue wrestling dreams, never to really pursue more education.
But after his freshman year at college, John finds out his girlfriend is pregnant.
Suddenly, I have a kid on the way, and suddenly my full scholarship to Iowa State was not there anymore. Suddenly, I'm a dropout.
Who randomly receives a message
on Twitter, a guy named Gary, a kid that I never met. And he said, hey, my cousin owns an MMA gym in Cortland, New York, which is about 45 minutes away. Didn't have a car, and I was heading to my first practice that next Monday. The kid changed my life forever.
Why'd he reach out to you? Just like that?
God's grace, man.
Wow.
And I'm working at a bar, being a bouncer. I'm running into all these kids my age, and they're, John, I thought you were in college. It's like, oh, well, actually, I thought I'd try the fighting thing. You're gonna be a what? A cage fighter?
And I just started YouTubing videos about self-belief and what does it mean to be confident. And I taught myself how to believe in myself and how to think that I was greater than just this kid.
And the ones that doubted me or looked at me funny, I made sure that I would prove them wrong one day.
I remember my very first MMA practice when I decided I wanted to give it a try. The guys were asking me, they said, John, where'd you train before you got here? And I said, actually, I've never really been in a real fight. I made it to the UFC after only training for 4 months, which is really uncommon.
John Jones is a real phenom. You're talking about a guy who was a very well-respected amateur wrestler who has somehow or another turned out to be one of the best strikers in MMA, period.
He took the sport by storm.
He's very good all around. He's the new breed.
When you know where you're going and you know what you want, the universe has a way of stepping aside for you.
You came into this business as a kid. You're a young kid.
And completely dominated everybody.
Things like this just doesn't happen without someone looking out for you and giving you favor. And I feel it's about him God's favors.
At just 23 years old, John had the chance to become the youngest champion in UFC history.
Is he still a young guy, 23 years old? And yeah, he is, but the guy's proved himself over and over and over again. He's taken everybody out.
Champion in UFC history!
It means a lot to me, but now I know I have a huge target on my back. And when you guys come and strike at me, I'll be ready to strike right back.
You will not fear the terror of night, nor the arrow that flies by day. Wake up, John.
The last time I had major doubt going into a fight, I would have to say it was when I fought Rampage Jackson.
I kept having these nightmares that I would get knocked out.
I have zero respect for John Jones.
I'm going to have fun whooping his ass.
He's all hype, but his head is so far up his ass, thinks that he's the greatest champion of all time.
If Rampage torques his body and sends his fist your way, that's it. It's nighty-night.
He intimidated me. He really did.
Rampage, if you want your belt back, now's your chance. I'm right here, not going anywhere, so come and get it. And I prayed this prayer asking God to just give me the supernatural, reaction abilities. As I was praying this prayer and meaning every ounce of this, thinking my life is on the line, I noticed, looking at myself, that I was covered in feathers. I could see myself covered in, there was small feathers in between my fingers. I felt like I was this fighting thing that wasn't earthly.
Ultimate Fighter, there's the flying knee. Jones with his reach and the creativity of his striking. He's trying to pry it off. And it's all over! John Jones has defended.
His mind, it's his mind. His mind is really strong. Some people believe in the power of the mind, being mentally strong. Some people believe in it.
And that belief allowed him to take out legend after legend.
Look what he did to Lyoto Machida. You look what he did to Rashad Evans.
It seemed like John was bulletproof. Maybe he was favored by God.
John Bones Jones was arrested and charged with a DWI early Saturday morning. Police told Action News that John Jones was on the scene and it was his 2012 Bentley that had crashed into a telephone pole at the corner.
John pays his fine, and just like nothing happened, his image remains untarnished.
And you were the first UFC fighter with the Nike deal.
Right.
The shoe sold out in 2 minutes.
One of the guys, I think, on the PR staff. And he's like, right now I'm escorting you to your room and no one knows who you are. And he's like, one of these days, people are gonna swarm you when you walk through this arena. He's like, people are gonna know who you are one day. And I was just like, yeah. He's like, yeah. She's like, trust me, you just wait.
That was after Vitor almost broke his arm in half. Right? Submissions. Oh, armbar! He's got it! He has got it right here! Vitor got so close to tapping John Jones. Any other human being other than John probably would have fucking tapped.
John Jones remains the UFC light heavyweight champion.
You started to think, he's not human, that he's going to go into these fights and just walk through everybody.
Fighters began to fear John.
You ever been afraid of somebody? Yes. Who? There's been some times when I've left the locker room and known I was a lamb. Yeah, going to slaughter, yeah.
That was like being locked in a cage with a bear. That's the only fight I have ever lost or competition I have ever lost where I did not want a rematch. We're good. You have proved your point, young man. Enjoy your run.
John was on top of the world.
Will your brother ever lose?
No.
Never.
He will never lose.
John Jones may be losing this fight going into the championship round.
That fight with Alexander Gustafsson was one of the toughest things I had to do in my years, both mentally and physically.
There's a lot of anxiety in the corner of the champion, Mike.
This has been the most he's ever been hit.
First time John Jones had ever been taken into deep water. Ever.
What's his face? Gustafsson with the takedown. First time in the UFC.
And forever now I do know what I'm like when things get tough.
And John Jones might have to take Gustafsson out to retain his title.
The 4th and 5th round, I pulled from something that I didn't know I had inside of me.
The champion is cut. Again, a nice elbow. Caught him. The light heavyweight title is on the line. Jones with a big knee. Flying knee by Jones. Wow. That might be the greatest title fight in the history of the light heavyweight division.
And still. Be honest about that. How much did you train for that fight?
I had this crazy thing that I would do where I would party 1 week before every fight. I was able to win my fights, and I felt as if it really wasn't affecting me. And so I felt as if I can get away with that.
Despite cutting corners, John had put together one of the best resumes in MMA history in such a short period of time, and it made it undeniable. The Jones family was one of the most iconic families in the history of sports.
This is about a 1 billion to 1 shot that one family would produce a Baltimore Raven and a young stud New England Patriot. Yeah. How do you explain that all three of you came from the same household?
At the end of the day, it's a total blessing.
John continued his reign.
That's something that I think he was born to do. I think God just opened the door.
But John's next opponent, Daniel Cormier, an undefeated fighter and a former Olympic wrestler, seemed like the only man to make John potentially pay for his wild lifestyle.
As me and Daniel were walking towards each other, I knew that it was going to be one of those face-offs when we got right in each other's faces.
You got up front, I guess, in front of all the people, you got a little hype and got in my face.
I just think we both acted really immaturely up there. Hey, are you still there?
I actually admire that you can actually be this fake and like when the TV comes on, how you can just change.
Thank you.
What started off as a petty insult turned to a real hatred.
It was the first time him and I ever interacted. He walked up to me, he's a very tall individual. He looked down on me and started to make derogatory comments towards me.
I said, hey, what's up, man? I hear you're a wrestler. And I was like, I bet you I could take you down. And ever since then, he's had this personal vendetta against me.
I'm glad you're talking. Yeah? Yeah, you'll be talking Saturday. Hey, when I'm beating your ass Saturday. I wish they would let me next door so I could spit in your face.
I would absolutely kill you if you ever did something like that.
You could never kill me.
Oh, I bet you I could.
I really think this is the biggest fight in the history of this sport.
This is Ali Frazier of our generation. Anytime you fight a guy who's never lost to anyone. You know, there's questions. Does this guy have that it factor? You know, does he have that gift?
There is nothing you can do to stop me from coming at you round after round with the most malicious techniques I know.
Daniel Cormier is just a pawn in this whole game. My life doesn't revolve around him.
You will lose this fight, Daniel Cormier. I want you to believe it. Every ounce of training you put in leading up to this fight will be a waste of your life.
This is my life, and I'm willing to die to beat you.
Be prepared to do that.
Cormier. John Jones.
First 3 rounds were fairly close.
Good straight left by John. Being a big man, good right hand over the top by DC.
Good old-fashioned dogfight.
Oh, it is a dogfight.
The leader in significant head strikes.
Good kick by Jones. Yes, John, take it down, DC.
After the fight with DC, you know, I just kind of felt on top of the world. I just beat the undefeated fighter that everyone thought would be my match.
UFC light heavyweight champ John Bones Jones has tested positive for traces of cocaine.
So I want to clarify a few things. John Jones was tested out of competition. When he was tested, he tested positive for cocaine.
I was shocked, Brian, when I first heard the news.
Jones's mother, Camille, admitted Monday that her son left the rehab facility after just one night. Me and my husband considered it a blessing from God that our child was able to be helped and know that he needs to stop.
And that breaking news we have just learned, UFC star John Bones Jones is being suspended him indefinitely after Jones is charged in a felony hit-run incident.
Turkey 911, operator 3830, where is your emergency?
Yeah, there was a car accident right here on Winsboro and Southern Boulevard, 3-car accident.
Anyone injured?
I'm not sure. I know 2 people did get out.
Dude, I wonder if this is that fighter's car. John Jones? Then this way we can write a warrant for him.
APD tells us a pregnant woman in her 20s was hurt and had to go to the hospital.
John starts losing his sponsors.
Well, you know, unfortunately, we're seeing this kind of pattern of self-sabotage. What I would like to see is some kind of personal healing, some kind of rehabilitation.
Yeah.
When you ran away from that car accident, that to me was like, God damn, John's in a bad place.
Yeah, I was in a bad place. You know, Christians are not perfect people. We're just people.
But my only thing with John Jones is he's just a fake motherfucker. It's like, oh no, God loves me. I'm a saint. Like, no, dude.
You know what I mean? We just believe that, you know, that there's Jesus Christ.
John, I'm this and I believe in this and that. Your fabric is fake.
We all know, beneath the surface, you're not that guy.
You know, no matter how far away we stray from him at times, his doors are always open for us.
You know, everyone knows what John is, and I think he's fake.
We're born into sin. It's our nature to sin. And other people might be like, oh, well, he's a narcissist. And he's, which maybe I am, I don't know.
That wildness is one of the reasons why he's so fucking good.
To be publicly shamed, to lose respect amongst my family, amongst my fans, to get my belt taken away, to get my job taken away for a year. That was my rock bottom.
When I was winning all these fights, I was the it boy in the UFC. You know, greatest of all time, finishing legends. I just felt like everything was meant to go my way.
John can do anything he puts his mind to. He is his own worst enemy.
John Bones Jones has been stripped of his title and suspended.
The people definitely want to make me bad guy, it seems.
Where were you heading from when the crash happened?
UFC fighter John Bones Jones stayed silent in court today. He's charged with a felony.
The judge ultimately lifts the travel ban for Jones, and he's free to start competing again in the UFC. And in the aftermath of all this madness, John's mother, Camille, passes away due to diabetes. She was only 55 years old. The Jones brothers released this statement following her passing. "Mom, I love you so much," he wrote. "It's hard to accept the fact that my mother is not with me anymore. She went to be with my sister in heaven. No more pain and suffering. Thank you for making me the man I am today. This Friday and Saturday will be the toughest weekend of my life. Please keep my family in your prayers."
I also realized that depression is for everybody. I thought that I could never be the type of person that was severely sad and depressed, and this summer I truly was severely sad and depressed.
He's not a bad person, you know. He's made some mistakes. Learn from these mistakes.
It's the truth, you know. I
I made the wrong decision, and it's something that I live with every day.
These guys competing for your belt?
Yeah, just seeing them compete for the belt, I thought to myself, man, I am wasting talent. Like, hey, I need to get my life together. I need something to be excited about, something to inspire me, motivate me, get me up, get me out of the house.
During John's absence, Cormier wins the vacant light heavyweight belt.
John Jones, get your together. I'm waiting for you.
John returns to competition and wins the interim belt, setting up an undisputed title fight with Cormier once again.
I know there's a guy who's been calling himself champ. Daddy's home, DC.
He just said he's back, right? But is he back? Are you back, junkie?
I'm back.
He was the champion. The day I got reinstated, that's when he was just the belt holder. That's when the true champion came back.
Is this guy gonna mess this up again by doing steroids or snorting cocaine or?
I beat you after a weekend of cocaine.
He has the belt, but he's not the champ.
You have lost your mind.
My vision for myself is to be the greatest martial artist to ever live.
Jones, in my opinion, is the absolute greatest fighter in MMA history, bar none.
We're all on different journeys, you know? Some people mature faster than others.
But there is no change on that young man. He's doing the same type of shit.
You are the biggest I've ever seen, for sure.
Daniel needs another hug.
Nah, I don't need a hug.
I made you cry in front of the world.
I haven't wrecked my vehicle. I haven't been suspended.
John Bones Jones is being suspended.
I didn't get stripped from my championship.
Had a long year. Court cases and lawsuits, just a whole bunch of stuff, you know?
I'm a good person. And John, you are a bad person.
We may see John become the person that he's always tried to convince us that he is.
The reason why I need to win this fight is because I need to get my life back.
You know, last time I was just fighting to win. This time I'm fighting to kick his ass.
But again, more controversy.
As John Jones tested positive for turinabol from a sample the day before your guys' fight, of course, right?
Yeah.
This is the third time he did it. 3 fights involving your name, he tested positive for something.
It was eventually ruled a no contest, and again, Jones carries on. But then a few years later, some rules change.
Yeah, so USADA has changed some of the rules. I've come to find out that all my findings were under the new legal limit.
And I feel like, you know, I'm 31 years old and I got a lot more in me. To be the best ever is not meant to be easy. It's not meant to be easy.
John continued his dominant reign, defeating Gustafsson for a second time. Beating Anthony Smith.
He's letting them know that he's getting his ass kicked. He's slowly but surely beating him up.
Took out Thiago Santos. And then in a controversial decision, he beats Dominic Reyes. After an astounding 14 title defenses in the light heavyweight division, it almost seemed like there was nothing left for John to prove in the UFC.
The potential all of mixed martial arts gold, the greatest of all time, maybe, the pound for pound #1, maybe is returning after a 3-year hiatus to become the undisputed heavyweight champion.
The greatest fighter to ever live, ever, is fucking John Jones. Put 2 guys in a room, and who fucking comes out? John Jones walks out of that fucking room every time.
After a 3-year layoff and a move up to heavyweight, the question started to circulate. Was John the fighter he once was?
This next chapter will be where I show the world how great I can possibly be.
John Jones, the heavyweight debut, 3 years in the making, going up against Cyril Gane.
He's a big dude.
Yeah.
He's a big dude. So the fact that John won't be able to bully him, he ain't gonna be able to big boy him.
Will the strength hold up? Can the cardio go 5 rounds?
I feel like a stronger version of myself.
Cyril Gane and John Jones, I'm very interested in that fight. How does John perform at heavyweight?
I have a dog in me, I have a lion in me, I have a vicious warrior inside of me. It's who I am.
Jones got the clinch, and he's got him down on knees. But John Jones, he the greatest of all time, and now the undisputed
While John's status of one of the greatest UFC fighters is unquestionable, he still had a ways to go to prove he was the man that he claimed to be. And if there's one man he can learn a lot from.
And youngest and new heavyweight champion of the world, Michael Tyson.
They both became the youngest champion ever in their sport.
Jones to the body, and it is all over.
I won titles, I had everything in the world, but I still had that darkness in me.
Tyson went from one of the most vicious athletes of all time to one of the most soft-spoken, humble old men out there.
God, it tests you. It tests you and see how much of this you can take before you say, let's just be finished with this. Why do I have to go through this pain? Why do I have to go through this fear all the time?
Domestic violence call. Female is bleeding from the nose and mouth.
And you feel like you're a disgusting piece of shit?
I hate you. I hate you.
Why can't it just be peaceful all the time? Then it wouldn't be life.
All right, sir. How are you, sir? Good, doing okay. All right, so I have to do a DWI investigation. Okay.
How could you hate me? How do you love me?
So I do have to place you on the rest for DWI, okay? Yes, sir.
The guy who made things right, the guy who changed, got his life together, and became even more extraordinary.
I am by no means condoning the actions of Jon Jones throughout his career. But my question to you is it really your place to judge him?
He that is without sin among you, let him cast the first stone.
When you're favored by God, you're also favored by the devil. He's coming for you too.